What is going on, everybody? Avatar here, and Act 2 of Episode Heresy is finally here, bringing a ton of new content to the game, including the highly anticipated Void rocket-assisted sidearm, the Lotus Eater. This sidearm completes the entire line of rocket-assisted sidearms, and trust me, this one packs a serious punch. We all know that rocket-assisted sidearms are a fantastic choice and pretty much good in all types of content, but recently, they did receive a nerf to the ammo economy, which is a bit of a bummer, but today we want to see if the god roll for Lotus Eater is actually worth grinding for, and can it compete with other weapons. Let's start by taking a look at the perks. Since it's Void, we all know that Repulsor Brace and Destabilizing Rounds is an amazing combination, but is it worth using on a special weapon? Well, lucky for us, we got the absolute god roll for this weapon, and let's break it down with other options and see if there's anything else that stands out. So, in the first column, you've got a few options like Strategist, where final blows generate class ability energy, Feeding Frenzy with rapid final blows that increase your reload speed. Of course, there's that Repulsor Brace where you defeat a Void debuff target and you get an overshield. Shoot to loot, I mean, basically you shoot an orb, a special brick or a heavy brick, and it automatically picks it up and reloads your reserves. But for me, it's kind of a wasted perk. Just due to the ammo economy, why bother shooting your special weapon just to pick up another special brick? It's a no for me. Then you've got Beacon Rounds, where final blows grant increased projectile speed or projectile tracking and reload. Lastly is Reconstruction. This is an interesting perk for me because basically every 6 seconds, it automatically loads the ammo into the mag from your reserves, but it can actually also overflow your mag to double the ammo capacity. So with an Adept mod, you can actually get over 30 rounds in the mag, which is extremely nice. I've always loved this perk on machine guns and, you know, linear fusion stuff that do tons of damage where you have limited amounts in your mag. So Reconstruction is an interesting perk, and we'll talk about what I think it's going to pair well with soon. But we want to know, is it better than Repulsor Brace? Because obviously getting a Void Overshield after you defeat Void debuffed enemies is a fantastic way to go. It's extremely useful. So for the fourth column, we've got some interesting options as well. One for All is probably one of my top picks in this, because hitting 3 separate targets increases your damage by 35% for 10 seconds, which actually is going to pair really nice with Reconstruction. It's going to be a beast of a choice in my opinion. Of course, the all-known, well and loved Stabilizing Rounds, where you defeat that target, creates that void burst of energy, causing nearby targets to become volatile. That is paired beautifully with Repulsor Brace to get that overshield from that perk. Then you've got High Ground. It's a decent option, but it being situational, there's definitely better picks out there because you do have to be high and above the ground just to get an increase to damage, and focusing on positioning rather than just shooting targets, to me, it's kind of a waste of a perk in my opinion in this column. Reverberation, final blows will increase the size of detonation. Personally, I don't want to use that. I don't want the detonation size to be extremely big. I want the damage to be focused as small as possible on chunkier targets. Then we've got Withering Gaze. So aiming down sights for 1.5 seconds causes your next shot to weaken the target. It is nice, but we do have other ways to weaken, so I personally can't recommend this perk out there when you have different ways to weaken, such as Tether and Smoke Bombs and whatnot. Then we've got Adrenaline Junkie, which Adrenaline Junkie is almost interchangeable with One for All for me, just for a couple of reasons. So with Adrenaline Junkie, final blows grant stacks of increased damage, but a grenade final blow will grant a max stack, which is up to 33% damage buff. It's easier to proc than One for All for just slightly less damage. Get a grenade kill, 33% more damage, or you can shoot 3 targets and get 35. Honestly, to me, those are really interchangeable. It kind of just depends on what roll did you get and which do you have a preference for. Because at the end of the day, if your grenade doesn't get the kill, you don't have that increased damage. So One for All might be easier for a lot of people to use. But for me, I'm going to have to go with Repulsor Brace and Destabilizing Rounds just for the synergy, and we'll have to manage the ammo economy a little bit better since it is a special weapon, but I've had so much fun using this roll. But before we talk a little bit more about that, let's look at the origin trait. So you have Stunning Recovery, which refills your mag, triggers health regen, and boost recovery when you stun a champion, so it's great for Grandmasters or seasonal content that has champions in it, especially with the barriers right now. On the other hand, you've got Vanguard's Vindication, which gives you a small health bump on final blows. I personally think Stunning Recovery is more useful in harder content, especially if you have Repulsor Brace and Destabilizing Rounds. You're already getting a Void Overshield, then you're getting your ammo filled from reserves, and you're getting yourself a little bit of health regen when you stun that champion. So it's going to be situational and all those come into play, but it does help out a lot when you have it going. But the God Roll, what have we been using? We have Hard Launch, which less stability and blast radius, but more velocity. And we also have Implosion Rounds, which boosts stability and velocity, but gives you a little bit less blast radius. For me, these are absolutely perfect because both of them increase your velocity and decrease your blast radius. To me, that's exactly what I want on a rocket-assisted sidearm. Get to the targets faster, focus the damage more on the target you actually hit, rather than the blast radius spreading it out. For perks, we got the banger Repulsor Brace for the Void Overshields and Destabilizing Rounds to make those enemies volatile on defeats. So it's going to keep our uptime on not only invisibility when on Prismatic, but also on our Overshield as well. Then we got Reconstruction with it too, which is going to be fun to kind of try out just to see how we like it. But I do want a Reconstruction 1-for-all roll just to try that out to see which one I like a little bit more. Probably going to go with Repulsor Destabilizing, if I'm being honest with you. Also, we got lucky, we got a Velocity Masterwork, and then we threw on an Adept Mag to help the ammo just stay in the weapon as much as possible. We're able to get around 16 shots in our mag, which is utterly phenomenal. Just makes it so we don't have to reload as often, keeping our uptime on our Overshield and our Volatile a lot more often. You pair it with a Void Reserve and a Void Scavenger mod, you're not going to have any trouble using Lotus Eater as a primary weapon, like we all know we want rocket-assisted sidearms to be. So after testing, is it worth it? Honestly, I think so. It's not going to replace my current primary rocket-assisted sidearm, Tenacious Mastery, with Chill Clip, at least not this episode, because having the ability to stun every enemy type, plus having Air Trigger with helping the ammo economy, it just makes it an easy go-to choice. But Lotus Eater is definitely a strong second, especially if you want to build into Void or Prismatic. It was extremely fun to run this on Prismatic Hunter due to the ability to go invisible so often after every single defeat when they were debuffed from volatile rounds. Honestly, I do like it, and I'm probably going to use it a lot more now that I have it, just to give Tenacious a little bit of a break, but definitely Tenacious is currently my go-to pick. But with double drops this week in the Nightfall, it is a perfect time to go grind for this weapon, especially if you want to do harder Grandmaster type content. If you're not used to it, or you haven't done this specific one before, go check out Mactics' guide, linked down below. He breaks it down so fantastic, and it's extremely helpful if you've never done this Nightfall before, or you just want a little bit of help on how to get it clear. Or if you guys need a fire team to run with, feel free to join our Discord. We also do Grandmaster help every week on our stream, Mondays, Fridays, and Saturday days, sorry. We'll help you grab your own Lotus Eater. Trust me, you do not want to miss out on this one. But that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Until then, I will catch you in the next one.